We'll go ahead and get started. We've got the last few people coming in, so just fill in the front. We have plenty. We have plenty of seats down here. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody. I'm so thankful that y'all were able to come and join us in person today. We will have the refreshments available at the end too, so if you were still full from breakfast this morning, grab some on your way out. We've got a couple of quick announcements that I wanted to go through before we have all of our guest speakers. So first I wanted to reintroduce our executive team that is over here to my left. So we have, Thomas should be over there. I can't see all of you over there, but so Thomas, Lacey is next. Then Shelley, Kristen, Lawrence, and Michael. So they make up our executive team, and we meet on a regular basis, but if you, as we've said on multiple occasions, if you need any of us, please reach out to us via email or Teams, but we're all here to support. The next is our A&P roll call. So that's our next slide. It's for all of our A&P representatives and committee members. So if you will scan the QR code and fill that out to log your presence here today. I'll give you all a minute. All right. Next, quick reminder is that we do, if you have not signed up for your benefits, that is still going on until Monday. So just the last few days, remember to go on if you want to make any changes, but please remember that window closes on Monday the 17th. And one final thing is the enrollment for the Aspire Leading People is open. So anyone who has supervisors in your department, we just really ask you to encourage them to sign up, be a part of the program, and go through the full Aspire program available. All right, next we will introduce our guest speakers. So our first one for today is Ms. Kelly Shoemaker.
Good morning. It is really great to be with you guys today. I appreciate being here. I get the pleasure at least once a quarter to sit down and personally visit with the leaders of A&P and discuss issues of concern to them, and sometimes to go over changes in their constitution and just other things. And it's a wonderful way for me to stay engaged with what our staff are thinking and what is important to them. So I say that, so please reach out to them at any time. You can reach out to me personally, but reach out to them if there's something that you want them to discuss, if you have an issue on campus, all right? Introduction by way, as Anna said, I'm Kelly Shoemaker. I'm a Senior Vice President for Business and Administration and the Chief Financial Officer here at Auburn University. The lights are really bright, but do I have any business and administrative staff out in the audience today? If so, would you just kind of raise your hands? Fantastic. Happy to see you guys. In a minute, if I get stuff wrong, y'all just chime in and correct me, okay? All right, first thing I wanted to show you on the next slide is just a little bit about how the university is organized. Many of you may know this, many of you may not. The Auburn University is governed by a board of trustees. Auburn itself was constitutionally created under the state laws of Alabama and gave those board members full fiscal responsibility of Auburn. So they set policy in regards to approval of the financial budgets for all facility projects, HR, and the fact that they approve our budgets, which include all of our merit for all of our personnel. They have policy related to how we invest our cash and policy related to how much debt we as an institution will take on. We do not derive support from the state for any types of facilities. We issue our own debt, and they are responsible, as am I. They meet 5 times a year. They will actually be on campus next Thursday and Friday at the November board meeting. Other than that, from a From an Auburn University perspective, obviously, Dr. Roberts is the day-to-day CEO and the president of Auburn University, and he's assisted by those people that you see there on the chart. You will find over third from the right there, the Business and Administration division itself, and I just want to tell you on the next chart a little bit about the members of the BNA leadership team. You'll see myself, I'm assisted by Jennifer there, my assistant. If you ever need me, you just reach out to her. And the other members of my team there. Some are here, some are not, but I want to tell you a little bit about what they do and what BNA does. The best way I can describe it is to say this is what we don't do. We don't do athletics, that's left to the athletic director. We don't do students, and we don't do academics. But we do a lot of business or administrative tasks and functions that help the university operate on a daily basis. So under there on the left, under Emmett Wynn, we've got administrative effectiveness, which does assessment for all non-academic units on campus, as well as that area helps us manage our airport, parking, transit, GPAC, the museum, the ombuds. We have Mark Sterling in charge of real estate and property development. Auburn University has obviously main campus, it has AUM, it has our ACES and extension all across the state. We got a facility in Huntsville now and a facility in Birmingham, as well as a good number of research facilities down on the Gulf Coast. Brian Elmore is in charge of budgets and business operations, long-term planning, and the Auburn University Bookstore. Amy Douglas, Financial Services and Controller, does all financial reporting, tax compliance, cash management, procurement, endowment accounting, and student billing. Carla McCormick is in charge of HR, which includes not just your payroll check, but your benefits, performance, and other trainings and employment relations. Shanda Tuck, all things business IT, business analytics, and business process improvement. Chris O'Gwin, Executive Director of Risk Management and Safety, Insurance, and Risk Safety on this campus. Jim Carroll, all things facilities, from the ground up to making them look beautiful for 40 years later. Facilities, construction, custodial, operations, utilities, master planning and landscaping, and a multitude of other things. And Jennifer Blackman is really in charge of our Auburn University brand. She does a great job of protecting that, making sure that we approve the people we want to approve to use our Auburn University logo and brand on their items. All right, next we'll go on 2 more slides. I just wanted to hit for you, next slide please, our budget. Auburn University operates with a $2 billion annual budget. Went into effect on October 1st, will expire on September 30th. We're on the state, the same calendar schedule as the state of Alabama. The budget before you does cover all 4 of our divisions. Usually when I present budget information, it does include all 4. We are a land-grant institution, so we do have the divisions of Cooperative Extension and Agriculture Experimentation. You will see from the pie chart up there on the slide that obviously main campus derives the majority of our revenues. And on the next slide, I'll show you where most of those come from. Those 2 bar charts down there on the bottom show you that most of our money still comes from students who pay tuition and fees, and the state of Alabama that provides appropriated funds for our use for operations and maintenance. The others listed there, restricted revenues, just as that word implies, they have a restriction on what they can be used for. Most of those are coming to us in the form of a contract and grant with either a federal agency or a corporation, and they can only be used for that specific purpose, as is some scholarship revenue that comes over from the foundation. Foundation is constantly out raising scholarship dollars for us. when that donor's intent is that a scholarship applied to someone in the College of Nursing or the College of Business or from Jackson County or whatever their stipulations for are, that is all it can be used for. So we take those revenues and use them for that purpose only. Our auxiliary revenues are those derived from those auxiliary units: athletics, parking, transit, bookstore, housing, dining. Auxiliary units take in their revenue and they operate based upon the revenue that they receive. We got a couple of little bit of other revenue there, which are things like a vet school, investment income, honor earnings. Now, what's probably most important to you is how we spend that money, all right? And this is how we spend it, all right? About 52% of that money is spent on you guys, on salaries and wages and the benefits that we provide our employees here at Auburn University. That is our cost. That's our goods. That's what we do. We take human capital, human knowledge, and impart it on younger humans so that they have that knowledge. So it takes a lot of professors, a lot of human capital, a lot of staff. So a good portion of our budget is spent there. We do then have operations and maintenance, everything from buying the computers that you use, to paying the utilities on buildings, to paying for insurance, to paying for campus safety and security, a police force. We have a contract with the city of Auburn to provide that police service here to our campus. So we've got a lot tied up also in operations and maintenance. A lot of facilities on this campus. They, just like your home ownership is a trap. Having buildings on a university campus is just a trap, all right? Something's always going wrong with them, all right? We also offer institutional aid, not just those restricted scholarships, but a portion of what a student pays. When we give a student a discount on the actual rack rate or what the cost of tuition is that we have advertised on our home page, and we give them a scholarship from that or some money, we're giving them institutional aid. And we give about 13% of our budget to students in student aid nowadays. Debt service, as I mentioned, we do have the ability to issue bonds, to take on debt, to owe someone the principal amount that they loaned us and the interest on that, and our debt service right now is almost at around 5% of our budget. We do have outstanding a little over $1 billion in bonds at the moment, with an average wait of around 20 years before they're all paid off. We have repairs and renovation expense, which covers really just the upkeep on some of our facilities, not just the everyday replacing light bulbs and air filters and really small paint projects during the summer just to handle some upkeep on a lot of our facilities. Net mission enhancement and central allocation is about 21% of our budget, or about $22 million, that's set aside for strategic initiatives that will occur during the year. Something new and exciting. So take, for example, advances in AI that we want our professors to begin putting into classrooms. If that doesn't fall right during the same period that the budget kicks off, we've set money aside for some strategic initiatives here on this campus. And then lastly, that 3% is close to about $60 million in reserve that we just set aside each year as a contingency. Things can go wobbly in the economy, as we are seeing a little bit of that right now with some of our research being held up. Those funds aren't coming in, and we've got a reserve fund to help cover us, just like an emergency fund at your house. All right, I think that's all I've got to share with you guys today. And I would say, if anyone has questions, I know you've got a full agenda today, please reach out. Please reach out to your leadership. But it was my pleasure to be with you this morning. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Kelly. Next, we have invited a member of our SGA executive team to come up and share a little bit about what their day-to-day role is and how they have an opportunity to impact the university. So we welcome up Mims.
War Eagle. My name is Mim Jones, and I have the honor of serving as the Executive Vice President of Initiatives in SGA. I first want to say thank you so much for having me here today, and then I also want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you from the student body to each of you. I know all of you work hard, you work every day, and not always are you student-facing, but what you do always affects students and always helps students. So I do want to say it does not go unnoticed from the smallest tasks to the biggest accomplishments. We really do appreciate it, and you make each student's Auburn experience better, so thank you. I now want to give a little bit of an overview of what SGA is, what we do, and some of the things we're working on. So SGA stands for Student Government Association. We are the governing body for our students, and what that means at its forefront is we are supposed to be the voice for 35,172 students. And that's a big responsibility and one I don't take lightly. I think our exec team talked about, we like quoting that number because that makes you realize how many students there are and how many of them don't share the same student experience as me. How many of them I may not even interact with, but it's my job to go into meetings with some of you. I see some familiar faces who I meet with, and others to represent their voice and make sure that their student experience is being looked after. So our mission statement is serving the individual student, promoting all that is Auburn and unifying. And what that means is going to, like I said, being the voice for 35,000 students and also being a two-way street. We bring things to administration, we voice things from the students, but we also want to bring things back. And so when we go into meetings, one question I try to ask quite frequently is how can the students best support you in your role? And that's important to us because sometimes there are big decisions that not every student gets to see the thought process that went into it. And so if we can communicate that down, I think it's better for everyone. Our layout, we have 3 branches in SGA: Cabinet, Senate, and Judicial. Cabinet is kind of our day-to-day. There's about 80 students that serve in Cabinet. They apply and interview for different positions in there, and they put on a lot of programming and day-to-day kind of operations that include Auburn traditions like Hay Day, where we carry on a tradition since World War II to put on name tags and say hey to people by name and continue the community that is the Auburn family. Auburn rings, I forgot to wear mine today, please forgive me, but we sell those each spring to students who have completed 75 credit hours, and it is a great tradition to get to carry around a piece of Auburn on your finger. We have our communications and social media to get out the word of what we're doing. We oversee things like the block seating in our student section in Jordan Hare, as well as something that's going on right now, which is Safety Week. Monday, several of y'all joined us for Safety Walk. Thank you so much for braving the cold. We planned it months in advance and didn't know it would be the coldest day of the year. But we get to do fun things like that where we educate our students on the safety features that are and resources that are offered to our students, as well as walk around our campus and look for ways that we can be better. Look for ways where maybe a blue light isn't working or somewhere's a little too dark that we can make our students safer. So thank you for all who came out and participated in that. On the Senate side of things, we have 34 senators that are elected. They are proportionally divided up amongst populations in colleges. Right now, our business school is the highest population, so they have 6 senators, but all proportional, and they look at more big picture things. You know, what's the student experience going to look like 6 months from now, 2 years from now? And so they write and pass legislation in Senate, as well as meet with administrators. And then our third branch is our judicial branch. And I always like to say Auburn is really special because our judicial branch does not stay busy at all. We got to go this summer and speak with different SGAs from across the SEC, and they tell quite a different story of trying to impeach people and having judicial cases, and that really hasn't been the case at Auburn, and I think that speaks to the Auburn family and the way we treat each other, but also the responsibility that our past student leaders have taken in serving the students in the correct way. So that's kind of the layout of what SGA looks like. I'd love to walk y'all through a couple goals that we have and stuff that we've been working on. So our exec team is made up of 6 individuals, and when we got into our positions back in February, the first thing we do is we sit in a conference room with a whiteboard and we throw out every single idea that we have for the Auburn student experience. Any problem that we can identify, any big dream, any stupid idea, there's no idea that's stupid, and we throw it up on a whiteboard. And over the next about 6 to 8 weeks, we go through and we identify, should this be our exec goal? Is this the most pressing thing for Auburn students? And really talk things out. We finally get it down to a 1-page, which is right here. And I love to bring it to all of our meetings because we kind of go through and say, these are the 14 items that we've identified that are the most important to our administration and to the students here at Auburn. So to walk y'all through a couple of them, our first one, support the development and improvements of student housing. One thing we've noticed around Auburn is the ability to find convenient and affordable student housing is becoming increasingly harder, not just on campus, but also off campus, where you have to sign a lease in September for the next year. That's outrageous, and so trying to do different things there, but mostly this is looked at supporting the renovation of Cambridge, and for that to be much bigger than it was initially, and gotten to work closely with facilities and with the board and student affairs, and excited that that's going through or up for the third phase of approval at the board meeting. Another goal is ensure the student voice is heard in the development of the North End Zone project. Obviously, a great big project that will affect so many different areas on this campus. And we were in support in that enhancing Jordan Hare and the athletic facility that it is, but also asking the question, what is this going to look like the other 357 days out of the year? And how can it serve students? We really see that as an extension of the Student Center, and excited to be in different meetings about looking at different spaces of dining and event space and different spaces for our students to study. Another goal, advocate for a solution for the 320 West Magnolia Avenue crosswalk. If you've ever driven down Magnolia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so we've gotten to have some meetings with facilities in the city and looking through a solution with that and kind of starting to get through that and have a plan. And the city looking to initiate that project here soon. So hopefully there will be a traffic light and a little bit different setup for the crosswalk so that you can actually drive down Magnolia in a timely manner and still cross very safely. Secure funding to support adequate staffing of security specialists, enhancing protective measures for the Auburn community. This is one that is, in our eyes, has been accomplished. The funding has been secured that we're going to have 24/7 campus security and security specialists that are going to be at Auburn at all times of the day, doing a lot of different jobs and just being present to keep our campus safer. Just a couple more to run through for y'all. Expand and improve utilization of existing parking lots on campus. If you went on campus right now and asked students what are the biggest problems, I can just about guarantee you that one of them they would list is parking. Parking is something that's talked about a lot, and so looking at ways, how can we take what we have right now and make it better? And without necessarily saying we need to build 15 parking decks or something outrageous, but saying, hey, here's a parking space that looks to be underutilized or could be improved, could be better utilized, could be better, if it's gravel, could be paved, could be easier for our students to park and more organized. And so looking at a couple different ways there and working with a bunch of different areas around campus. And then the last one I'll run through y'all is solidify ownership of the concept 3D map. This was an SGA initiative a couple years back to get this 3D map. If you haven't checked it out, you should. It is awesome. It's got all the information you need in a very organized format. It'll tell you where construction is and what's happening to that construction. And so it was a great initiative. It got finished, and then it was kind of like, well, who's going to look after this day to day? And so this is another one that we've been able to accomplish. It's now living over in facilities. They're taking good care of it. We're really excited for it to be over there and to be looked after. So those are just a look into some of the goals that we're working on. But once again, I just really want to say thank you for all the work that y'all do, and thank you for having me here to speak to y'all. If we can ever be of help, if students can ever be of help, if you ever need student feedback on anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We always want to help out. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mims. As we'd mentioned earlier in the semester, throughout our meetings, we just want to continue to engage our committees, and we've asked them to come and present and provide updates of initiatives that they're working on, feedback that they've received from you all. So again, just kind of showing what they are working on throughout the year. So we are going to start with Laura presenting on our welfare committee.
Good morning. I'm Laura Miller. I'm the chair of the Welfare Committee, and the Welfare Committee consists of 14 of us who are working for the good of AMP employees here at Auburn University. If you didn't already know, the mission of the Welfare Committee is that we review and make recommendations about AMP salaries, benefits, and evaluation procedures. One way that you can already reach out to the Welfare Committee is through your place reps, but last year we started an initiative that has come to fruition this year, and we now have our own Welfare Committee email inbox. So I'm here to give you guys an update about that. So you can reach us at welfare@auburn.edu, and we want to hear from you. So we have a committee of the 14 of us, and we have a lot of great ideas. However, there's no way for us to encompass everyone's idea with an AMP. And so we want you guys to reach out to us either through your place reps or through the inbox to let us know what you think about the evaluation procedures, questions you may have, and other benefits that you may hear about through networking with others outside of the university, things that they do at their universities or at their workplaces that you would like to see at Auburn. And up next is Kelsey Davidson.
Good morning. I'm Kelsey Davidson. I have the pleasure of serving as the chair of the Professional Development Committee. First of all, I want to say just how excited I am to be with you here all today, and even more excited to share a little sneak peek of what our committee has been working on this year. Our main focus has been something we're really passionate about, planning a professional development day just for our AMP employees. We're still in the planning stages, so nothing has been officially approved yet, but we're dreaming big. Our goal is to create a day that helps each of us grow both professionally and personally. We're envisioning a hybrid event, so whether you prefer to join us in person or Zoom, there'll be something for everyone. Some of the sessions we're working on to include resume building, so to help show off your incredible skills, AI workshops, because let's face it, technology isn't going anywhere anytime soon, Excel sessions for all of us who say, wait, how do I make this formula work again? And an employee benefits panel to help make the most of everything Auburn has to offer to us as employees. We're also planning an employee resource browse that'll kind of be like a mini fair where campus groups and departments will have booths set up. You can stop by, chat, and learn something about the amazing opportunities available to you as an Auburn employee. And because we know professional development isn't just about skills and spreadsheets, we partner with the Welfare Committee to bring a holistic approach, focused on mental health and overall well-being. So while we're sharpening our professional tools, we'll also be taking time to recharge and take care of ourselves. Our hope is that this day will be inspiring, energizing, and maybe even a little fun, because learning doesn't have to be boring. Professional development is your ultimate accessory. It never goes out of fashion and always makes you shine brighter. So that's what we've been working on and keeping our committee busy this season. Lots of planning, dreaming, and collaboration. We can't wait to share more details soon and to make this event something that truly benefits all of us. We'd absolutely love your feedback because this day is all about you. And if you want to sparkle a little extra magic by volunteering to host a booth or lead a session, I'd be thrilled to hear from you. And just reach out if you want to make this event a little bit more fabulous. Thank you for being part of a community that values growth, connection, and well-being. Let's learn, shine, and laugh together. War Eagle. And next up, we have our Nominations and Elections Committee Chair Member, Jenna.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jenna Morgan. I'm the Assistant Director for Contract Administration and Procurement and Business Services, and I serve as Chair-elect for Nominations and Elections Committee. So we are hard at work since August trying to figure out how to elect everybody for the coming up year. Can we do the next slide? Yeah. So I wanted to mention two of our really exciting initiatives for this year before we dive into what our elections tentative schedule looks like. So we're really excited. We're working with the ad hoc committee for the current constitution we have for AMP to make sure we have proportional representation across all departments in all schools, because we figured out that we don't always have that. So we're really excited about that. And then we're also working with HR to ensure that all new employees know about AMP and have the opportunity to know where their place in their VP categories are so that they don't find out 5 years into working here that they can be involved and have a voice. So we're really excited about that. So as you can see on the screen, executive committee always starts first in those elections. So if you're interested in it, please reach out. I'll have the email at the end of the presentation. But please reach out if you're interested in serving on the executive committee, you must have previously served on in the AMP assembly, so a committee or a place rep or something of that nature. So emails will go out from us in mid to late February, and then we'll have elections and nominations and everything through April. So that's exciting. And then we have place representatives that will go out in April and vote in May, and then committees will go out in April and then vote in May. So we have a very busy spring. So it's exciting, but you know, it's always a nice way to get involved and be able to, you know, serve Auburn. Voting, it's conducted electronically within the announced time frame. Results announcements are shared with the assembly and the campus via email. And then the term start is at the beginning of the next assembly term. So these are the executive committee positions. We wanted to go ahead and get these in front of y'all. There are 3 openings for next year. So please, you know, take a picture. We can send these out. All of the information will go out to y'all. And it's exciting. This is a way to get involved, but make sure that you read the eligibility, the responsibilities, and the time commitment. And then, so we have the chair-elect, the secretary, and the at-large position. And then here's the email if y'all want to. We monitor this pretty frequently, so it's apnecom@auburn.edu. So please, if you have any questions about getting involved, or you know, just anything, or you have suggestions, please feel free to reach out to us. And I'd like now to introduce Christy Cannon.
Good morning, good morning. My name's Christy Cannon. I am an assistant director in the most amazing division of facilities management, but I also get the privilege of serving as your chair for the grievance committee for this year. And so on behalf of the grievance committee, you know, we hope to be the committee that you never need. But if you do, know that we're there. We're there to support you and to help you navigate. I know that the grievance process can be very daunting sometimes and somewhat scary if you do have a complaint that you want to go through. So some of the things that we're working on as a committee to kind of help you navigate that process is we're working on some step-by-step guides that make the verbiage, it pulls out the verbiage of the policy a little easier to digest. So we're trying to make a step-by-step guide for the grievant as well as the respondent for any complaint that comes through the grievance process. You know, we hope one of the other things that we're doing is working with UHR. Actually emailed Sonia this morning, and to create a toolkit and a guide for the hearing panel. So once a grievance comes in to our committee, a hearing panel is selected, and there's a lot of steps to getting to a hearing. And so we want to kind of come up with a step-by-step guide to make the days leading up to a grievance hearing as seamless as possible, and to make everybody not quite as nervous going into those types of hearings. So if you are somebody that has been through the grievance process and you have any suggestions, any concerns that you want to bring up, you know, feel free to reach out to me for sure as we're working on this year. And also, if you're somebody that has been contemplating filing a grievance and really hasn't taken that first step, either you don't understand the process or you don't know where to start, please reach out to me. Jeremy Peacock is our vice chair. You could reach out to him or any member of the grievance committee. All of our contact information is on the AMP website. So if you need support for any of this, just know that we're there to help you and support you. So that's all I had, and thank you guys. War Eagle.
All right, that concludes our presentation portion of today. So we, again, thank you very much for coming and joining. Food and beverage is still available out there. And again, reach out to us if you need anything, and we will continue to update details on the AMP Assembly teams. Thank y'all.